What's up, everybody? Welcome to my show, The Brave Exit with Taj. I turned 40 and decided to have a midlife crisis kind of dealio, whatever. Not really midlife, but in the Filipino world, a little bit. Hope all is well. Today is just gonna be a debrief, maybe a debrief of everything going on. And if you guys seen the last episode on 2 Cups of Juice, it kind of ended things with it. Nothing on anybody's end. We're both just so busy. It's actually hard for us to record right now. And it's been hard to record for the last almost 6 months. I miss the audience. I miss everything that goes on. There's so much that's happened. I'm not even going to have enough time to talk about it. I mean, I might. I'm home by myself with my dogs, and so it's nice and quiet right now. My dog's just chilling, and I'm also doing some laundry. But it's nice, we're just mellowed out and chilling. So I guess since we left off, I think was the day before Christmas in December. And I don't know if we talked about it, but I had my gallbladder removed, and then realized that it was from the shot that they put me on. They put me on Ozempic for my sugar. It was more for my A1C. If you ever have issues with your body, you got to take care of that stuff. I know, I'm terrified of the doctor, but it's more terrifying to go to the emergency room because you have to pay all that crap if your insurance doesn't pay for it, which it usually doesn't. But bro, let me tell you what, 3 weeks, I barely could eat anything when I got out of the hospital, because when they take your gallbladder out, your gallbladder is just like a storage unit for when acid drips into the storage unit to help break down material. Well, they take that away, so that stuff drips now in when I eat, and it doesn't fluctuate to stay. Let's just say that I've lost some weight in the time period, which I feel great about, but it's hard to go places without having to go to the bathroom, okay? I know this might be too much TMI, but I'm just letting you know. When your body changes, it could be instantly, and I have a lot of friends who have IBS issues, and starting this whole path of becoming a foodie, food blog kind of guy, I was like, Tim, you gotta watch out. You better watch out where you go. We just did a road trip in April down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and that was my first road trip since I got it removed. And I had 3 other people in the vehicle with me, some good friends, some no longer friends. We'll talk about that too. But it was a little crazy going down because I had to watch what I ate. It's about an 8-9 hour drive down there from here, and you guys probably why don't you just fly? Why don't you just fly? I hate flying. I'll drive across the country to California if I had the time before flying on a plane. Just saying. But I had to stop every 2 hours. So little health bump. I have type 2 diabetes, which if you don't take care of your diabetes and whatnot, if you drink too much fluid, the fluid usually just runs and trickles straight out, so you can't hold anything. And if you're dehydrated all the time and you're constantly drinking, you have to find that well balance. So I just made a point to have pit stops on the way down. The one pit stop that we stopped at was on our way down there was Buc-ee's. If you guys don't know what Buc-ee's is and you think it's overrated, okay, you stay home, stay in the car, whatever. Buc-ee's is an experience. I'm gonna start as soon as you get there. The parking lot, the gas stations. I swear there's like 100 gas pumps. Which I actually got gas on the way home at one. Yeah, it was just like pumping gas, but it wasn't even full. Nobody was even at the gas pumps. They were all parked around the building to go into the store. It was ooh, I wish I could show you guys pictures. If you've never been to a Buc-ee's, I know like on the West Coast, you probably won't ever experience it unless you drive over this way. I think Texas has a bunch, so you could drive down there and see them if you need to fly. But it's a great experience. As soon as you know, pump your gas, go into it's like a giant. How can I explain it? It's almost like walking. Okay, it's walking into a food court with like three entrances, right? And then inside this food court, you have your clothes and your souvenirs, whatever, and then inside, beside the souvenirs, you usually have your fudge candy cookie station, and it's a big station. It's not just like a little thing. And then you have a wall of drinks of like why can't I think of the word right now? Fountain drinks. Which they have like their own kind of breed of drinks, and I'm a birch beer kind of guy, and they have that, so I usually go for that. Then they have like a jerky meat section. They also have bag jerky across the store, which you could get pre-packaged, or you could just buy like a lengthy sheet, or even like the Slim Jim kind of jerky. It's pretty cool. And then you get next to it. I didn't even look, to be honest. After the jerky, it all blended out, but I believe there's like pastries and stuff there. There's also another section that around the area, it's like a brisket meat. I'm pretty sure they have other stuff, but people usually just go for the brisket. The brisket's amazing. And then you go around, you have your protein, like if you don't want to eat meat, there's like eggs, cheese, and all sorts of stuff around. And then they have bagged like snacks and stuff. A lot of the stuff you could find anywhere, but every now and then if you go down the rows, you might find candy or a bag of cookies you've never seen before. There's also Then you have your drinks, which I'm very big on the Texas tea, the white strawberry tea. That's like my absolute favorite. Every time I go, that's the one I need to go. I mean, like I said, I will drive 3 hours just to go get a glass of tea. I'm a little crazy. It's okay. But I didn't get to the best part. So the best part about this whole thing is the bathroom. Okay, no, I'm not some creeper checking out in the bathroom. So the bathroom has all its urinals like against the one wall, and then around the whole other side of the bathroom is like basically closets that has a toilet in it, and it's blocked off, and it's one of those areas like you could fart at your own space and pace, whatever you need to do, and ain't nobody gonna know where it's coming from. I mean, obviously, if you sit in the first stall, maybe. If you sit in the last stall, maybe. But I swear all the toilets like are constant. I swear the people that are there working in the bathroom clean the bathroom before the next person sits in there. But it's just so clean, like the whole place. You have people, and I don't know if you've ever watched like the board that they have outside when they hire people. I think the starting wage is between $18 to $20 just for a cashier position, and I think the assistant manager makes like $120 a year plus. So that means like the general manager that's in charge of that whole building, which could be a dream job, but it's chaotic. It's literally like Chuck E. Cheese on acid, okay? It's so crazy. And the best time to go is probably like 10 p.m. till about maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. And unless you got those early risers that are traveling, whatnot, it's probably a little dead in there. The days that I tell people not to go is probably tomorrow when everybody's traveling for Memorial Day, or I guess today is Memorial Day, or just in general, like on a holiday weekends. If it's hot out, I would not want to be in that place. I guarantee you that parking lot fills up so quickly. But yeah, it's a madhouse. So one of the people that I brought with me was like super thrilled to go, and I was excited. It was like, it's like I said, it's like 2.5 to 3 hours away from my house. And so it was their first time being there. We're so excited. We probably spent about an hour there because I had to, like, had to eat something breakfast wise. I didn't know where we were going to stop. And I didn't get gas there. But yeah, so we made a thing. I did end up getting a sandwich, which I was a little terrified about, because I was going to get sick in my stomach. And I was like, where are we going to stop? So it just makes you feel homey. So like people that might be terrified of the bathroom, which sometimes can be me, it just made me homey. Then I could, be on my phone and swipe on TikTok if I need a little sound or whatever. So yeah. So we left there, and I think we stopped at maybe a BJ's on our way down. So for my 40th birthday, I ended up getting a cabin, which I ended up upgrading it last minute. Didn't really tell anybody until, we were headed down there. It was a bigger place. There was supposed to be 10 of us that went, or 11. 10 or 11 of us. Somebody ended up not going because they were sick, and it's totally understandable because it was kind of like the same thing I was going through in December, and I was like, look, don't risk it. Go to the hospital, get yourself checked out. But this cabin, okay, we'll get back to the road trip part in a second, and then I'll explain this cabin, or we'll just go back to the road trip. We stopped at BJ's because I had a club membership. Didn't really save money on gas. Just stopped there to use the bathroom and check something out. I don't even think we got gas there. Yeah, we did. And then we drove down. As we're driving down, one of the passengers in the back were just like, when are we getting to the casino? And I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I didn't know we were going to go to the casino because somebody else didn't want to go. And they were like, yeah, let's stop in there. We could get some lunch. And I was like, perfect. Okay. So if you don't know anything about me, I like to gamble. I gamble, and majority of the time it's one of those, I sit there, 3 spins, and I win. Yeah, I kind of have that luck, unfortunately. It's not unfortunate. It's a great thing, but I also like to have my friends have that same kind of luck. But I do have a friend that has that kind of luck. My friend Savannah had like $20 in free play. And on the way down, we were talking about, funds and stuff like that of, we're this trip's on a budget and trying to not do too much and whatnot. And I was like, I'm for it, but we're still going to have fun wherever we go. So we went in. She ended up winning like $300, I think, at the Hard Rock down in Bristol, Tennessee. Very beautiful hotel, very nice. I think the layout's really good, and it's just kind of tucked away off the highway, so you can't really see it. But if you ever go down, have some tacos. They don't open till 4 p.m. if you go in there. They have a little bit of food court and whatnot. We ended up eating at the Hard Rock Cafe, which mostly all the locations have. This one, I think, I felt like was a little bit more pricier than the other ones, but whatever. So we ate there, and then because we ended up going to be at the cabin like 2 hours too early. We weren't going to be able to check in until 4 o'clock. Plus, we had other parties going to meet us down there, so we had to kill some time. We had called somebody, and they were like, we're like 20 minutes out from, and I was like, holy hell. I was like, well, you're going to be there early. So we ended up hitting the road after 2 hours. Happy Savannah won money. So then we had to brave out these 2 hours left to get down to Gatlinburg, which ended up taking us around the mountain instead of going through Pigeon Forge. I don't know if you've ever been down there. It's chaotic. It's chaotic on a Friday, especially after 2 o'clock. But I almost feel like it's chaotic all the time down there, which I feel bad for the residents that actually live down there. But you have to look at it as they're down there spending their money to help you out. We went around the mountain, which got to see a different side of Gatlinburg in through the mountains and seen some beautiful properties. And then you've seen properties that you didn't want your car to break down because you'd probably get eaten alive. There's always those crazy stories that people talk about of places that are in the mountains you should never be on because, yeah, I watched too many stories about that. I actually want to talk about that in another episode because there's a forbidden area that they talk about a lot. And I'm going to bring one of my friends and we're going to discuss this area that I'm talking about. But get to this cabin. Okay, so this cabin's huge. It has 2 balconies. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 5 bedrooms. In the 5 bedrooms, there's 2 in the middle. There's 2 at the bottom, and then there's 1 at the very top, which more so was a, it ended up being a, more like a loft, I guess. It was basically, or like an attic look over. I mean, anybody, but it was just me and Savannah that shared that room, and there was actually like a queen bunk bed, which I've never seen in my life. And then there was a separate queen bed. And so she ended up sleeping on the separate queen bed and I was on the queen bunk bed and was like, bro, there's so much room up here. Then we had our own bathroom up there, had a shower, which we couldn't figure out how to turn on the water to turn the shower on, which was funny. So there's that. Then the level with the kitchen had a balcony. And then there was 2 separate bedrooms. And then the 1 bedroom downstairs by the kitchen, their bedroom inside had they had a hot tub inside their room. I don't know if they used it, but man, it looked so nice. And then other bathroom was in the bedroom. Then downstairs was the game room. And then the game room, there was a pool table. There was a Pac-Man game, but there was other games on there. Listen, I played Frogger on there, and my success story was getting to level 2. That, and after that, yeah. Don't do that and moonshine at the same time. It's not a good thing. There was also a hot tub and another balcony there. So it was a big house. The kitchen, I think we never really used the kitchen. I mean, my deal point when I went down with everybody was to have dinner at 6 o'clock on April 11th, which is my birthday. And we ended up eating at Old Red, which I guess for next time, it was a good time for most part. There was definitely some drama on this trip, and we'll talk about that. But for most of the trip, I mean, I had a blast. I did things this trip that I didn't think I'd ever do. I went up on the Sky Bridge that's up. I don't know where it technically is, but you have to go up a ski lift, which we went up in the evening. If you don't know me, I'm terrified of heights, okay? But I'm terrified to the point where there'd be a little bit of adrenaline and I'm fine. But if there's no adrenaline with the heights, it's terrifying for me. So no adrenaline, okay, going up this thing, but it was getting dark. My friend Savannah was next to me, and keeping me calm the whole time, and like allowing me to just breathe through it. Um, when we get to the top, there's the sky bridge, and basically it's a suspended bridge over a gorge, I think, on top of the mountain. And we seen it at nighttime. I don't think I'd be able to do it during the day. I know I wouldn't be able to do it today. Two factors: the thing sways. Okay, this thing moves. It's a suspended bridge. I've been on suspended bridge much bigger, so you can't really tell they sway. The other thing too, when you get to the center, after you pass, like, I can't explain it, but when you get to the center area, it's clear glass when you look through, to the point like you're like, you could see the bottom, but it was pitch black, so I couldn't see anything. That was like the best thing. So yeah, I did it. I did it on the way back. On the way coming back onto the other side, there was kids running on it and shaking the whole thing. Oh my gosh, my blood was boiling. And then we had to go back down the like ski lift, whatever. But it wasn't that bad. Like I said, I enjoyed the view. The lights were amazing. Daytime, probably a whole different story. We did another height thing. We ended up climbing up the Cliff Dome, I believe, Cliffman's Dome, which says it's a half-a-mile hike. That was no half-mile hike. But we made it to the top. And then we had to climb on this structure, and we were literally on top of the mountains, which I thought was the coolest thing. Still terrifying. It was during the daytime, but I didn't think I'd ever do it, and I did it, and I was happy. The one thing that I wanted to do, I didn't get to do, was zip line. But I'm coming back, Gatlinburg, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it and just face my fear on it. I look forward to doing it. I think we're going to go to Ober. I think they had a zip line. I don't know if I'd Superman it down, but I definitely want to experience it. I feel like it's so beautiful there. I'm thinking maybe in the fall time would be the best time to go down there. There's also a lot of dive places to eat and whatnot. So I'm definitely going to go back and going to experience some food with you guys. What else happened? So much I didn't cover. So much. So there was drama. There was some drama on this trip. I went down there all friends, and I came home with less friends. But you'll have to tune in for next time. Till next time. Have a good night.